Hey guys, how you doing? Ryan Stewart here with Weber's, and thank you for joining me today. I'm excited that you're here because I've got a big, packed video full of great content to share with you guys today. So, as a business owner, as a website owner, as a marketer, what would you say that your biggest asset is? Your time, right? And when it comes to social media marketing, it's easy to lose track of that time and get sucked in because that's what social networks were designed to do, literally, to waste your time. The key to good social media marketing lies in your data. Now, the problem is that most marketers are overwhelmed by analytics, right? The reporting, the segments, the filters, it's too much. It seems insurmountable and too time consuming to even bother to undertake. The key to good analytics is asking the right questions. This keeps you focused, gets you in, gets you out, and gets you on your way, and gets you moving forward to driving towards better social media efforts. In this video, I'm going to give you the 5 questions that you need to ask, and then give you the 5 answers to help you get on your way and drive better social media efforts. I look forward to seeing you guys in there.
10 bands, 50 bands, 100 bands.
Hey guys, welcome back to my desktop. Now I got a bunch of slides here to run through, but I'm also going to be jumping back and forth to my desktop computer because I don't want to bore you guys to death with PowerPoint. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, as promised, I'm going to cover the 5 W's of social media analytics: the why, the where, the what, the who, the when. And these questions are going to help formulate your strategy. They're going to help to focus your efforts. They're going to help you to get the data that you need, and they're going to help you to drive more towards your goals, be that traffic, be that engagement, be that form submissions, leads, whatever that may be. I promise you these questions are going to help you do that. Now, before I get into them, it's important to me when I see somebody presenting to give some sort of social proof, right? I don't want them to think that they're up there just, spouting off at the mouth. So I just want to take you into my analytics real quick. Now, this is from my site, webers.org. This is my agency website. And I just want to show you the social traffic that I've been able to drive over the past 3 months. 16,000 visits from social media. Everything that I'm going to tell you is 100% what I do, and it 100% works. So I just want to show that to you real quick. We'll be back in analytics in a little bit later, but now I want to run you through some of these questions. So the first question is a very serious one. I know it looks stupid, but literally this question is the most important question that you can ask, not only about social media, but anything related to analytics. Why do you use social media for your business? Think about that for a second. What's the point? Now, I ask this to all of my clients before we get started, and you know what the number one thing that they tell me is? Because everyone else is, and we should too. And every time, this is my reaction. Well, not really to their face, but that's what I'm thinking, because if you're just doing something because you think that's what you should be doing, you're wasting your time. I mean, what's the point? I mean, there's a million ways to market your business online. Why spend your time doing something that's not going to be driving towards your goals? Social media is not for everybody. I recommend everybody uses it, but I recommend that you get on it for the right reasons. So the best way that I can really drive this home is to give you my examples. Now, again, these are my goals for my efforts on social media. Yours could be different. Yours could be, I want to interact with customers. I want to grow a following. I want to build a brand. I want to drive traffic. Whatever that may be, they need to be specific to your business. These are what I've come up with for my business, for our website, webers.org. So number one is to build social signals. Social signals are things like retweets, plus ones, likes, shares, stuff like that. When you get this kind of activity through your links from social media, this tells Google that your links are relevant. They're being passed around some of the world's most popular sites, and it helps to increase your social rank, your organic rankings in Google. So my number one goal is to build social signals for my website through my links. Number two is to drive quality traffic to my blog. I do a lot of blogging. I do a lot of writing. I create a lot of content. I want people to come to my site and enjoy it. I want them to engage with it. I want them to spend time on the site. I want them to share it. That's another big goal of mine. I want quality traffic to my blog from social media. Number three, and this is a kind of a back end of traffic, form submissions. We've got a number of forms on our site. A lot of those forms go into our long-term sales funnel. We have an email marketing program, and those are important. They're a big part of our business. So I would like people to come to our site, consume our content, and eventually submit their information. Number 4 is to build a large, active Twitter following. Now, I would love to build a following on every network, but for what I'm trying to do with my business and my career, I do a lot of guest blogging, I do a lot of speaking engagements, and I want to do more of it. And having a big Twitter following really shows that you have a legion of people that want to hear what you have to say. So a big part of what I like to do on social media is to build a large, active Twitter following. So these are my 4 goals. They're not overly complicated. To build social signals on my links, to drive quality traffic to my blog, to drive form submissions on our site, and to build a large Twitter following. Everything that I do on social media has to drive towards one of these goals. If it doesn't, I don't do it. Goals are good and great, and if you're a small business or a small website, you can stop there. But if you're serious about your social analytics and you're serious about taking your efforts to the next level, you've got to take it one step further. And that's setting KPIs or key performance indicators and targets for each of your goals. Now, this is what I do with all of my large corporate clients. I do what's called the measurement plan, right? And the measurement plan really keeps each campaign focused on achieving your goals because you're setting measurable KPIs and targets and benchmarks. And that really helps to drive towards those goals and keep you on track and really judge whether or not your effort was a success or not. So just to run you through one of these real quick, the bottom left-hand corner, drive form submissions. The key performance indicator or KPI that I look at, whether or not a social network is driving form submissions, is the conversion rate from that channel. So the number of times somebody comes to my website and submits a form divided by the number of times that they came from that social media channel in general, right? And my target, my success metric, the way that I judge if that social network is a good source of leads for my website is if it converts at a greater than 2% rate. And the report that I use, I put that in here too to help me on the back end, is the Google Analytics Source Medium Report, which I'll run you guys through later. So KPIs, they really help your analysis. I know it sounds like a pain in the ass and it sounds like some really boring corporate stuff, but I'm telling you, it's ridiculously important and powerful to do this because it makes your analysis black and white. And here's a perfect example, right? If you were to ask me a question of, Ryan, does Google Plus drive leads for your site? If I just had the goal, I have a goal of I want to drive leads. I would say, yeah, I see some leads coming in from Google Plus. I'm looking at the report and I see leads coming in. But does that really tell you that much? No. If you have KPIs, if you have a set conversion rate of a success, if I think that it's not worth my time to post content to a social network unless it converts at a greater than 2% rate, that's powerful. And if you ask me that question again and I have those KPIs and targets set, I can say, yeah, Google Plus, it drives conversions, but it converts at less than 1%. So, it's not a reliable source of leads for our site. It might be driving plus ones, it might be driving shares, it might be driving traffic, but I'm not going to use it as a source for leads for our site. So when I'm going on a lead gen campaign, I'm not going to look for Google Plus. I'm going to look at stuff that I know is converting at a greater 2% rate. So anything that works, because it's black and white and you can scale it up. If it doesn't work, if it's not meeting your goals, you just scratch it and you can get rid of it. So this is why I know, again, every time I present this type of stuff to people, they kind of roll their eyes because they think, man, this is a pain in the ass. This is a lot of work. But I'm telling you, this saves you so much time on the back end because you're no longer guessing. It takes all the guesswork out. It's no longer, is Facebook valuable? Is it a good source of leads? You don't have to ask that question anymore. You just look at one report and you say, no, it's not. Let's move on. And if it is, then you find a way to scale up and do it even better. So again, please, before you do anything, answer this question. Why does social media matter? Why are you on social media? What's the point? What does it mean to your business? So now we can get into the analysis. I covered that boring stuff. I had to get out of the way. I apologize. So this is a big question. What posts are the most valuable to my business? What networks are the most valuable to my business? Before I can get into showing you the reports and how to determine this, there's 2 things that you absolutely have to do, and I cannot bend on these. Number 1 is having goals and events properly defined, set up, and tracking in your Google Analytics. So let's jump over to my analytics real quick, and I'll show you what I mean. So here's my analytics. This is the home screen, and you can see over here the goal conversion rate, right? And you can see some ticking over here. And if we come into my site here, Webris, the conversion rate on my site when we discussed the goals before in the previous segment, I was talking about form submissions. I have on my site, when you come into my site and you submit a form, like here's my site, you submit this report, and you click send, it triggers as a goal in my analytics, right? So it's tracking that as a goal. So one of my goals, as discussed before, my goals of using social media is tracking in analytics so I can accurately track that. Now, setting up goals is easy. I'm not going to cover it here. All you do is you come up here to the admin tab, you come over here to view, you click on goals, and you set them up. So you can see up all my goals that I have set up on my site. All these things track, they trigger when that action happens on my website. And that helps me with my analysis because I know if I'm achieving my goals. Again, I'm not going to cover this here because I have a post on my site. I'm going to leave you the link underneath this so you can read it and you can figure out how to set up goals in your own site. But for the purpose of this training, I'm not going to get into it, but you absolutely have to have goals set up. Now, the other thing is having all outbound URLs tagged. So here's Paulie D screaming at you, do you even tag, bro? Tagging URLs is huge because what it does is it allows you to track each individual post. So if you're in analytics and you're looking for insight from your social network, so this is a screenshot from the social media report, and as you can see, Facebook is all just tracking it as one big lump. You have no idea which post, if you posted in a group, if it came from your page, if somebody else posted it, where that link was going to. You have no idea what post is driving that traffic, what post is driving those goals, what post is driving that engagement. So tagging URLs is an absolute must. So I'm going to leave the link of where to do it and how to do it, but I'm just going to run you through a live version real quick. So basically, it's called the Google URL Builder, right? And if I scroll down a little bit, it's very, very simple. There are 4 fields that you have to fill out. The first one is the website URL. So this is the link that you plan on leaving. So run you through a quick example. Let's say that I have this awesome piece of content, which you should check out. It's called The Lazy Man's Guide to Broken Link Building. And it's a blog post about how to do broken link building at scale. So if I want, let's say I want to promote this post through a Facebook group. I just come up here, I grab the URL, I copy it, I paste it here into website URL. Number 2, you got to fill out the campaign source. So this, if I'm planning it on posting it on Facebook, would be Facebook. If you're going to post it on Twitter, Quora, whatever, you put in whatever the social network is here in campaign source. In campaign medium, this is where you put in social because it's coming from social media. So you can skip these next 2, they're not required. Finally, campaign name, and this is where you differentiate. And I'm going to show you in a second what that looks like. But so let's say, for example, I'm posting this in a group. So I like to use brackets. I'll put group, and I usually put the name of the group. So let's say it's Digital Marketing Questions, my group. I abbreviate that as DMQ so I know which group it's coming from. And then I put in the name of the post so I know which post it is. So this is broken link, and then close it. And then you just click generate URL, and you can see you get this long, ugly URL, but it functions the same, right? And these are what are called tracking parameters in here. So you can see that this URL, it's just building on your URL, and it's saying the source is Facebook, the medium is social, the campaign is, here's my campaign. So wherever you plan to post this, just copy it and paste it. So again, let's go to my group here, Digital Marketing Questions. Come in here, and all I would do is just paste that long, ugly URL, and it still functions as the normal URL as the root URL, right? But what happens is when somebody clicks on this, this communicates to Google Analytics and tells that it's coming from this place, from this medium, and with this campaign. So back in here real quick, this is just how to fill it out. And again, I'm going to have all this written down for you guys, so you don't need to scribble through this here. But again, so here's what the URL looks like when it's posted into the actual browser. Here's just an example of what it looks like when you're posting it to Facebook. And here's what it looks like in analytics when it pulls through. So as opposed to before, how you saw it was all just coming from Facebook, now it's broken down by how I have it as my own little campaign tagging, right? So I have the network first, I have the location, if it's a group, if it's whatever, the location of the group, and then the content, right? So now when I'm looking at my analytics, I know exactly which post, which group, which network is driving traffic, what's driving the engagement, and what's driving the goals, right? It's very, very, very important that you do this because otherwise you're not going to be able to tell your content apart. All right, guys, now we got all the boring stuff out of the way. I hope you stuck with me because now we're going to get into the root of it and how you can really drive action by using your data. So the first report that we're going to look at that's going to help you answer the question, what posts and what networks are most valuable to my business, is the aggregate conversions report. Now, I have screenshots of all these reports in here, but I'm also going to show you them live in analytics. So the way you get to this report is under acquisition, social, and conversions. So what this report pulls through is every single network at a high level and how many conversions it's driven. So this is a report to just answer that quick question, quick and dirty, if you don't want to dig around. How many conversions is Facebook driven? How many conversions is Quora driven? Now, again, you need to have goals set up on your website in order for this to track. And this report, again, is good for quick, dirty analysis. If you just want to answer that question, what networks are driving traffic? This is the report that I use. The next report is the campaign conversion report. Now, this report is better for a little bit more in-depth analysis. And I'm going to show you this report right now. So the way that you get to it is under acquisition again, campaigns, all campaigns. So now what this report pulls through is every single link that you've tagged, because every time you tag something in the URL builder, you're telling Google Analytics that that's a campaign. So that's going to pull into this campaigns report. So again, if you're running more than one type of campaign off of social media, like I run pay-per-click, or if you're on email and you're tagging those links, it's going to pull through here too. So you're going to want to use the filter here to dig down. So let's say I'm asking the question, what posts from Quora are driving value for my business? So I would just type in Quora. As long as I'm tagging that link with Quora in it, it's going to filter through to here, right? So I look at this and I say, holy shit, look at this one post on Quora about my free tools that I posted in a thread about tools has driven 241 visits and 14 goal completions. And again, if we go back to my goals that I set with the targets, I said 2% is a good conversion rate for social media. This is driving at almost 6%. Both of these posts are at almost 6% conversion rate. That tells me I need to get my shit together and scale up on Quora because it drives a ton of conversions for me, right? It's very, very valuable. So this report is going to help you dig down into individual posts in terms of value for your business. The final report we're going to look at for this particular question is the engagement conversions report. Now, this is important because not all conversions are about form submissions or sales. Some of them are about engagement, right? Remember when I said I want to drive engaged visits to my blog? This is how I check it. So this is a very important report that I run more than any other report. And you get to it by acquisition, all traffic, source medium. As you can see, it pulls through everything. This is also untagged campaign traffic, and your tagged campaign traffic will pull through here as well. So there's a lot of information. We really want to whittle this down. So what we want to do is filter by goals. If you're looking for sales, you can put your e-commerce here. If you're looking for a specific conversion, I have citation sale, contact page, footer form, newsletter. Any of these I can put it in and filter by that to really dig down into which goal. And if you have engagement trigger conversions on here, then you can put those in, like a time on site trigger. You can put that in here for goal conversion for that. And then you can just filter, right? So if I'm looking for traffic from Facebook, you type in your tag in here. I tag my Facebook with FB. So again, I know. So again, just looking at this data, I know that this one post, I can tell what posts have driven the most from social media and from what group. So this is a group that I posted in, and I know what piece of content this is. This is from my link building series that I posted. And this one post drove 560 visits, right? It also drove a good time on site. So I'm looking at this here for engagement, right? It has a decent conversion rate for content. This is pretty good, but this one down here is a much better conversion rate. So I can just look at all this stuff. And again, looking at the percent new sessions, I can tell that this group, by doing some analysis, this group might be a little bit spammed out in terms of my content because only 30% of the traffic that came back was new. That's not always a bad thing because return traffic shows that people recognize your content, recognize your name, and want to click on it. And that's probably a reason why this number is so high. So there's a lot of analysis that you can get from this in terms of whether your content is that post is working, that group is working, that network is working, how the engagement numbers are specifically in terms of that goal. This is a very, very powerful report, and you can filter for whatever you want or just run it for traffic in general, right? This is a very, very, very powerful report for everything, social media in particular. So moving on. So the next W question we got up is where? Where does my content perform the best? This one really ties in to my goal about driving engaged traffic to my blog, driving quality traffic to my blog, because this is going to help me to determine which social network is providing the most value for my content. So I've only got one report in here, but it's very powerful, and I'm going to show you how to access it right now. So it's under social again. It's under acquisition, social, and landing pages. And all I did here is I came up here to secondary dimension. I clicked on social, and I added social network, because what this does, I'll show you when I'll remove it. This now just shows the URL, and it doesn't tell me which social network it's on. It just shows me that this is on a social network. This is the landing page from a social network, but I don't know which one. Adding this secondary dimension adds a huge layer of value to me, because now I know which URL is on which network and how it's performing. So again, I'm big on content marketing and content promotion. This report is very, very, very valuable to me, because I am constantly looking for new networks to push my content on, and it's important that that content performs well. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time. So I come in here and look at this report, and I say, holy shit, Quora, this one post has driven 2,700 visits from one post. I need to look at what I'm doing on Quora, how I'm doing this, and I need to try and replicate it, because obviously this one post has 5 times as much, 6 times as much as my next best post on Facebook. So this report is very, very valuable to me in terms of driving traffic and how to drive traffic and finding that valuable sweet spot on that network to drive traffic. So this is a very, very valuable report, this landing pages report. So next up, we've got when is the best time to post. Now, this one, I see it on blogs all the time. I just saw a good article from Buffer, and they collected over 10 million tweets, and that's great. But the problem is that your audience is unique. Your followers on Twitter, your followers on Google+, your Facebook followers are all different. And you can't just assume because somebody posted on their blog from their data that it's going to be the same for yours. You need to check your own data. You need to optimize for your audience. If you're building your content and your plan and your marketing strategy off other people's stuff, you're never going to go anywhere. So leverage your own data. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So there's 2 types of data inputs that we need. What we've been using so far is what I call back-end data, right? So the stuff that you record on the back end. So visits, time on site, conversion data, that's all back-end data. That's what happens in Google Analytics on the back end of your website once people come to your site. So the front-end data is data from the social networks analytics platform, which a lot of people don't even really know exists or utilize. Like Facebook page has its own analytics platform. Twitter has its own analytics platform. Quora has a very, very good analytics platform. This front-end data measures things like impressions, clicks on your links, engagements and interactions with the post. This type of data, optimizing impressions, optimizing engagements, will help you to get more views on your content on the front end, right? I mean, the stuff that you're doing on the back end can help you to optimize a little bit, but you really need to analyze that front-end data, especially impressions. I mean, posting when your impressions are at a max and when your audience is online, and figuring that out is huge for driving traffic from your posts. I'm going to walk you through a few networks, starting with Twitter, because like I said, Twitter is a big part of my marketing strategy in building myself as a personal brand and an influencer in the space. And Twitter actually has one of the most robust analytics platforms that I don't really see anyone talking about. So I want to dive into it. So I'm going to just actually pull it up. It'll be easier. So here's my Twitter account. Just log into your Twitter, come up here, click on your profile image, and then come down here and click on analytics. And what you'll get is a dashboard that has a ton of information about your tweets broken down by month. And each time it'll tell you your top tweet, your top mention, and you can actually look at the tweet details and look at who tweeted it, what was included in it. It's very powerful for optimizing your tweets, which I'll talk about in just one second. But I like to go to here to view all tweet activity, because it gives you an even more in-depth breakdown of every single one of your tweets. So what you can actually do is look at your tweets, what's getting the most impressions, the most engagements, and the most engagement rate. And you can actually filter by this and check out the tweet details to check out what time it was that you posted. So I posted this one at 8:42 p.m. It has an image, it has a hashtag, it has a link. And you can actually look at when this tweet was being engaged with. So again, instead of using other people's data, you can just look to see what day, what time this one was posted at 10:38 a.m. and it got more impressions, more engagement. So you can draw your own correlations. If you're tagging people in your tweets, if you're using hashtags, if you're using images, very, very powerful stuff that can help you to optimize your performance. And again, this is important because I don't like to waste my time. I don't want to sit here and guess what time I have to tweet. You can just automate this. I have a tool that just pushes out tweets automatically and it posts them at the right time. So I'm not sitting here scratching my ass and trying to figure out, oh, I want to drive traffic. When's the best time? I know that. And I can just set and forget Twitter and move on to the next network. So again, this is just covering that stuff. Asking yourself these questions once you're in here. What was your tweet about? Looking at your top tweets. What time of day did you post it? What were the impressions that it got? How many engagements? Was there a link? Was there an image? Did you use a hashtag? Did you tag someone in the post? These are the questions that are going to help you to optimize and further your efforts and really hone in and automate your efforts. So Twitter is really easy, and I really strongly encourage you to check out the Twitter Analytics platform when you get a chance. Next, I want to talk about Quora because I fucking love Quora. Obviously, it drives a ton of traffic to my site, and it's a really easy platform to use, and it actually has a really robust analytics platform that's easy to access again. So I'll just log into my Quora and show it to you because it'll be a lot easier. So you just log into Quora, assuming you have it, click on your profile again, and come down here to stats. And I mean, look at this. This is just for the last 30 days. So I'm tagging this link. I know what piece of content I posted on here because I'm tracking it in back-end analytics, but I can then come here and look at it and I can analyze this, right? I can click on it and look at what I actually posted, right? The ones that are getting more engagement versus the ones that are getting less engagement. What am I doing differently? This one has 3 images. I'm leading off with social proof. Looking at the actual question, how many follows did it get? How many comments does it have? Asking yourself questions like this and then looking at the data to verify it. If you look at my performance on Quora especially, I mean, it's just trending up and to the right because I'm checking my analytics. I know what works. I know what to look for, and I'm not wasting my time on Quora answering stupid questions that have absolutely no engagement and stuff like that and are not driving any value for my business. So using your data on the front end to check out engagement and looking at these metrics is very powerful, and it saves you a lot of time in the back end. Again, this is just checking the back end data from Quora. We already ran through this report, and I actually showed you this before, just looking at the back end data and comparing to the front end, connecting the dots. Pretty easy. Reddit. Now, I want to talk about Reddit because Reddit does not actually have an analytics platform, but there's stuff that you can do manually. And I've had a lot of success on Reddit where a lot of people haven't because I pay attention to the details and I actually keep manual analytics. So I'm just going to log into Reddit real quick and show you this real quick. So one of the big things about Reddit is optimizing your subreddit and finding the time to post. So this right here is a subreddit, r/funny, and if you actually click on it, it tells you how many people are in there right now. So what I did was a manual data collection. I'm a fucking nerd. I took a manual data collection of my target subreddits to find out when the most people are online. And all I did, I just logged on to Reddit 3 times each day. Really easy. You can have your VA do it if you want. And just record how many people are in that subreddit. And as you can see, I want to post when most people are on there so my content gets seen. And now I'm able to automate this process and really easily post to Reddit and drive more traffic. As you can see, I drive a ton of traffic from Reddit because I pay attention and I keep a close tab on my analytics and data, and I do not have to guess. It's really, really easy to do. It takes a little hard work up front, but on the back end, I'm not wasting my time. Every time I post to Reddit, every time I post to Quora, every time I post to Twitter, I can expect results because I did the work up front. It pays off on the back end. Trust me. The final question, guys, is who? Who is sharing my content? And this is kind of like a fun reward because if you're doing a good job building content and distributing content and getting in front of people, people are going to share it organically. And it's good to track that because you want to make sure that your efforts are paying off. So the first report, we've actually already run this one. It is the source medium report under acquisition, all traffic, source medium. And what I like to do is add a secondary dimension for landing page because what that does is it tells you the piece of content, and then I will go ahead and type in the network that I want. So I typed in Facebook. Now, as you can see, this is one of my tag campaigns, so I can ignore this one, but the ones that are just lowercase Facebook, these are organic shares. So people are sharing, my SEO proposal, my article about online PR, my article about hashtags. They're sharing on Facebook and it's driving a lot of traffic. So this is very valuable to me to show me that my content marketing efforts are paying off and I'm spreading my reach in this honestly, this is the best thing about social media when you get other people to do the legwork for you, right? So this is kind of a reward report that I like to run and check out every now and again to see if people are sharing my stuff. Now, Google actually has a built-in report. It's called the Data Hub Activity Report. I can show it to you real quick. It's under Acquisition Social Data Hub Activity. Now, the only reason I don't really like this is because it only pulls data from their Data Hub partners. So as you can see them up here, it doesn't have Facebook, it doesn't have Twitter, it doesn't have Pinterest. So, but you can actually see the actual posts, like this kid Brad shared on Google Plus. Digo, there's a bunch of networks on here. I don't really check this too much, but because I use another tool, which I'm going to show you in a second. But this is a good tool to see some organic shares, and again, kind of the fruits of your labor and people doing the work for you. It's always exciting. I use Mention.com. Mention.com is a ridiculously powerful tool. It pulls mentions from social media based on your handle, based on your name, based on your URL. It also pulls through links that are detected from across the web, and it's actually got a very, very powerful link detection software in there. So this is very good for branding, for managing brands, for jumping into the conversation. If somebody mentions you and doesn't tag you on Twitter or on Google Plus, you can jump in and reply to them and get in the conversation and really kind of help to control your brand image across the web. It's a very, very powerful tool. So this is a little bonus section. This is the how. So it's not one of the W's, this is an H. How can I save time? Because honestly, guys, this is a lot of shit. This is a 30-minute presentation, and you're probably sitting here like, I'm never going to do this. This is too many reports. Well, the good news is that I took care of the hard part for you, right? Because right now, you know what shows you. Well, you don't know it now, but if you take this and apply it to your business, you will know which social networks you should focus on, because you know the ones that are driving towards your goals, and you know the ones that are wasting your time. You know the posts that are driving the most value. You know how to build those posts. You know how to write that copy. You know if you should include images, links, hashtags, stuff like that. You know what content performs the best, whether it's an infographic, a blog post, a sales page, and you know where it performs well. You know the people who like your content. You know those influencers who you can reach out to help you spread the word. And you know the best times to post. And these are all the things that I just covered. I know it was long and boring, but these are the things that you know. So really, you think about the amount of time that's saved and the amount of thought process. You can just use automation tools and leverage other people. So an example is, I like to write posts, and on Twitter, I tag people because I know that they're interested in it. I know they have a large following. So I'll tweet to them. And as you can see here, the data, it boosts my engagement and boosts my impressions. These are things that I look at. I got from my Twitter analytics. I realized that the posts that I was tweeting both images with, and when I was tagging people, I was getting a tremendous amount of impression and engagement lists. So this is something that I try to do in my efforts a lot. And again, I probably can't remember the last time I tweeted from my account because I automate the whole shit. I use Buffer. Buffer is a tremendous tool. It's free up to like 5 or 6 accounts. Hootsuite's another great one where you can just schedule your tweets. You can schedule your Facebook posts, your Google Plus posts. You don't have to waste time doing this stuff, guys. Again, if you know the data and you know what works, all you have to do is sit down there and type it. Use your hashtags, your images, and just do it all in an hour, once a month, and just get it out of the way. It saves you a tremendous amount of time. And then finally, streamline reporting by using dashboards. So you don't have to dig through all these reports. You can just centralize it all into one space. So I'm going to show you real quick how to set up a dashboard because it's really, really easy. So let's say that you want to have the Data Hub activity on a dashboard. You just click here, add a dashboard, and you select a dashboard. So, I'll create a new one. I'll call this social media. Add it to dashboard. The timeline, sorry, add it to dashboard. And now I have it up here. So again, all I do is come up here to social media, and we'll take a look at this content dashboard that I built out. It doesn't have much in it. But again, these are the reports that I need, and they're all in one interface. So you don't have to spend a lot of time doing this. All you have to do is log in, put in the 5, 6, 7 reports that you want in your dashboard, and just look at them here. Get your data and move on. That's all you really have to do, guys. It's really not that complicated. And you can do analytics in less than 10 minutes a day. So that's all that I have. Thank you guys for sitting through this, taking the time. Again, my name is Ryan Stewart. This post will be live at webis.org/social media analytics. My Twitter is Ryan was here. If you want to get in touch with me via email, it's hello@webis.org. Please drop me a line. I'm very responsive. Take care, guys.